So if this is your first time watching us, I'm Josh.
I'm Lisa.
And we've recently converted this Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van into our full-time home. And now we're traveling around the Western United States with our cat, Octavius. And we've been having an amazing time. We've been making all sorts of mistakes.
We've got some water on the floor. Looks like we have a leak coming from our faucet.
Staying in all sorts of beautiful campgrounds. It's been great.
We're still pretty new at it, so
Yeah.
as you can see from some of our videos, we struggle hard. This is really just... but it's fun to learn.
Yeah, we're still pretty bad at the whole van life portion of it. A lot of you have been asking for the van tour, the tour of the van. And now that we're all done, we're on the road, we're driving this thing around, having all sorts of adventures, we figured it's probably time.
Now's the time.
Yeah. We bought a 2012 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter 2500, the 170-inch wheelbase. That's the biggest one that they sell. One of the main things that we needed in this was to be able to stand up. Well, not we.
Not so much a problem for me.
So we bought the van a month and a half ago and spent the entirety of that time converting it to get it ready for this road trip that we had in mind of just driving around the western part of the United States. If you want to see our entire build process, we did all of that in excruciating detail. We showed every little thing throughout the entirety of the build process. I'm going to link that right over Lisa's head here if you want to see it.
So without further ado, let's show you the van.
Yeah, come on in, friend. Let's show you around. We are a shoes off sort of household out here.
Oh, hi. Come on in. Welcome. Octavius is here with me and we're ready to give you the van tour. This is our main entrance and I absolutely hate it. That door is so clunky, it's so loud, it's so hard to open, but it allows us to have this amazing view of this mountainscape and creek, so I'm not complaining so much. If you come on in, the first thing you'll see is we have a shower. Now, a lot of people are really surprised that we built a shower into our van, but we thought it was kind of important. If we wanted to live full-time in our van, we wanted to be able to have some of the necessities that we're used to. The shower is a cold water shower. Sad face. My hope is that with enough complaining, we'll be able to install a hot water heater. Crossing fingers. I won't go through the build of the shower because we have a lot of videos detailing that, but I will show you what it looks like. We just pull this open and there we have it. We have our shower head and our handles, and secret, only one of them works, the cold water handle, unfortunately. Normally, I know you don't see it in here, but I'm gonna tell you, we store our toilet and kitty's litter in there, normally when we're driving on the road. Next, we'll walk you through the kitchen. This is, again, my favorite part. This is where I spend most of my time, and Josh too. We take turns cooking meals. He'll oftentimes cook breakfast and we'll alternate cooking lunch and dinners. The nice thing about Josh cooking breakfast is oftentimes I'm still waking up or very cold, so I won't get up to make breakfast. Here we have our lovely 2-burner stove. We have a propane tank underneath this cabinet, which is awesome. And all we do to start cooking anything is basically open up the cabinet, turn on the propane tank, light it up. Building and decorating the kitchen was one of my favorite parts because it's so colorful, adds a lot of character, I think, to our van. This awesome piece of wood that we salvaged from this countertop, Josh and his mom worked hard using a router and some amazing templating to build this cover for our sink. But as you can see, we have a pretty decent sized sink in here, but whenever we have dishes that we just haven't gotten to, or we have things that we just don't want to rattle around, we can cover it on up, which is awesome. We just bought a bathroom vanity and painted it, salvaged it, put on some nice handles and knobs, and used it for our kitchen cabinets. And it turns out that it's the perfect height. So our top drawer is full of utensils. We've got everything we could need. Forks, knives, spoons. We also have some Tupperware, some food storage containers, our drying mat, some extra drying towels. At the bottom we have a larger drawer which contains all our pots and pans. Down here we keep our gray water tank, which is where all the water from our faucet flows down into. So when we wash dishes or basically wash fruits and vegetables, it all flows into our gray water tank. And whenever it gets full or before we take off, we find a safe spot to dump it and make sure that nothing bad gets out into the environment. We also keep a 6-gallon jug here, so that way if we have water that we can fill up on, we have some extra that we can use. We have a switch here that you'll notice, and this is our water pump switch. It's pretty convenient because it reminds us anytime we need to use the water, we got to turn on the water pump. Here at our sink, we have a faucet and we have a water purifier, which is pretty sweet. You can just thread it on. When you need purified water, you switch this on. When you don't need purified water, you just switch it off. One of also my favorite parts of the kitchen cabinet is we installed and designed a light to be put right here and a switch right here. So if you just need to work in the kitchen or be in the kitchen, you don't need to turn on the rest of the van lights. Just switch that on. These first two cabinets are what we use for kitchen and cleaning supplies. So this is all our bowls, all our plates, and all of our spices. Our second cabinet over here is mainly for cleaning supplies, toilet stuff, like poop things. Let me just show you. So we've got some paper towels, a couple of rolls of bathroom tissue, and then we have this caddy just of random things like our trash bags for our toilet, our little liners for our toilet. We've got these porta potty chemicals which come in handy and make our solid waste smell like Fruit Loops, as it turns out, and some shampoo and body wash and other things that we might need when we shower, for example. We intended for this space to be kind of like a workstation where we could set up our laptops and do some work if we wanted to, or just use it for more kitchen things like cutting things, or if both of us needed to be in the kitchen, one person can work here, one person can work over here. This part was also one of my favorite parts to decorate because there was just a lot of white space that we could fill. So actually I just took some leftover pieces of fabric that we had from the window coverings and framed them with a few gold frames, and I think it adds a nice color to the van. As you can tell, this is one of Kitty's favorite spots to hang out. If you can't find him here, he'll be in the headliner shelf just chilling, either when we're driving or sleeping there. Sometimes I'll put the bath mat here so that he has a soft place to just hang out when we're driving. In one of our other videos, you'll see that Josh built this awesome storage container for our fridge. It's a slide out drawer, which is really cool and awesome because it is one of those fridges that opens from the top up. We needed to be able to easily access it, so all you do is basically unlatch it whenever we're driving and you need it, pull it out, and open it up. This is our top drawer, which has a lot of different stuff in it. And my joke is this is like my famous top drawer that I've always had. Any dresser that I've ever owned had a top drawer that just was full of junk. Just anything that didn't have a place, put it in the top drawer. So things like our toothbrush, our floss, our tools that we need pretty quickly, our leveler, all lives in here. Saran wrap, aluminum foil, things like that. And then this bottom cubby is for Octavius, which is his nice little safe space for him to eat. And he's gotten so used to the drive now that he eats and drinks water while we drive without any problem. Welcome to the back of our home. So as you can see, we have our beds and our benches in bench and work dinner table mode. We usually keep this table and the benches like this when we're eating or working or on our laptops. It makes for great space and has an awesome view. We keep all of our bedding up here, so like our blankets and pillowcases, anything that's excess that we just don't need during the day, up here in this storage unit. And then back here in these last two cabinets are our clothes. This is my clothes cabinet and the back is Josh's. Let me show you. So we keep most of our clothes rolled up because we find that that's easiest to store and pack things lightly. Josh's side is a little bit easier to access when we're in dinner table mode. This is his closet. You might think that when you're driving, all of this stuff just falls out everywhere. Luckily, we found some really great magnetic latches that help us keep these cabinets closed at all times. We just installed a plate here and the magnet here, and it latches shut. The finishing touch of our van is found at the very back here, and these are some baby shelves that Josh and I made. And We use this really for things like charging our phones at night. We have little USB and charger ports here so that if we ever need to charge anything, we just put it there. And also houses our USB for these cute lights that line the back of our van. This is also one of my favorite parts of the van. So one of the things that we wanted to make sure that was really key about the van was making sure that Octavius was really happy here. And so that meant including some builds in for him. He loves his little cat toy that I installed over here, which is just a nice string and a thimble at the end. And sometimes when he's a little spicy, we'll just play a little game of catch and he loves it. So now that I've covered the bulk of all the pretty things in the van, I'm gonna let Josh delve into the guts of the van.
To get to the guts of the van, we first have to take a few things apart. Everything that we have that does something important in the van is underneath here and underneath here. That's where our electrical and our plumbing is. First, I gotta take these cushions off. One sec. So this is our bed platform, and what we did is we installed big door hinges on it to be able to open it up and access all the area underneath it. And underneath there sits our garage storage in the back with various cables and other things that we need for living on the road, as well as our electrical in the front. So as you can see in here, it's quite a mess of cables. Where the electrical starts is all on the roof. Up there is 150 watts of solar, and that feeds down into the solar charge controller down here that then charges our batteries. We have two 100 amp hour AGM style batteries, and those provide power for everything in the van. To a lights, water pump, charge our phones, everything. And there are many ways for us to charge these batteries, first of which is solar. The second of which is through this battery isolator. So when the van is on, the excess energy that the van generates while it's running actually feeds into these batteries in the back. And then we have the ability to charge our batteries when we're plugged into shore power. So if we're at a campground or somebody's house and we can just happen to plug in to any of their outlets, that will then charge our batteries as well as turn on all of our regular outlets throughout the vehicle. So far, this has been plenty of power for us. We've never run out. I would say the most important thing if you're building a van is to definitely put a battery isolator in. It costs maybe $70 to $100 to put it in, and it's a little bit of a pain, but it keeps your batteries charged all the time. Secondarily, the solar allows us to be on the road essentially indefinitely. As long as we can park this van somewhere that has any amount of sunshine, our batteries will stay charged all day and all night. Electrical can be super complicated. Turn that on.
That circuit's probably not.
Blew that fuse immediately.
Oh, what?
Especially in an RV and a moving vehicle like this is. I'm going to do another video coming soon that explains the entire thing from top to bottom. So watch out for that. So down here is our fuse box. And what this is the brains of our electrical system. This is where we have all of our fuses for our shore power, as well as all of our fuses for our 12 volt. We have all the labels for exactly what size of fuse and how big to use. And then this box itself is actually a converter charger. And what it does is when we're plugged into shore power, it converts the 110 volt that comes from the rest of the world into 12 volt to then charge our batteries. It's really cool. I'm super glad we went with something like this. I know it's a little bigger than what a lot of vans went with, but it's been working great. It's rock solid, and it's really dead simple to use. We open up the other side. Here we are, plumbing town. Open this thing up. So in the back is more storage. In the front is all of our plumbing stuff. What we have here is a 3 gallon per minute water pump, and that's fed by this 21 gallon fresh water tank. Most of our plumbing is pretty straightforward. We use PEX for everything. This is the line that goes straight to our shower, and then we have another line that goes back here and then up and over the entire back of the van and down, and then all the way over here to feed our sink. This allows us to have fresh water as well as water to be able to take a shower whenever we need to do that. We also have the ability to dump water out. So let's say that we need to empty our water tank for any reason. We can just turn that nozzle and just dump all of our water right out to the ground. We also built in the ability to winterize our tank so we can actually pull in water using this hose. Now that's not the normal way that we get water into the system. We have a water fill that's on the outside of the van that we open up, and we can just dump a big tank of water or just plug directly a hose into it and fill up our water tanks really quickly. 21 gallons has been enough for us. It's usually enough for about 3 or 4 days, and we've had absolutely no problems at all with our plumbing. That nut right up there is leaking. Let's confirm. Oh, Oh yeah, definitely that.
Just kidding.
Zero. Just kidding. Yeah, pretty much everything that can leak has leaked so far, but we fixed it all and it's great. One of the last things that we put into the van was this headliner shelf, and this has become our storage repository for just about everything. Now that I've built it, I don't understand how you could ever build a Sprinter van like this without a shelf like this. It's like 10% of the storage in your van. It just wouldn't make any sense. When you're in a van like this, storage is always at a premium. You're always running out. There's never enough room for all the things that you want to bring with you. So having a big headliner shelf like this has been really, really key. Plus, it's Octavius's favorite place. So if you're traveling with a cat, cats love places that are up high, that they can kind of, snuggle back into and feel safe and secure and warm in. No better place than a headliner shelf for that. One of the most important items in the entire van, especially for me, is this roof fan. So what this does is you open it up and then it actually blows air out. So when you're cooking, it exhausts all of that out of the van. And when you open up a window, it creates a breeze. It's amazing. It creates a breeze that pulls in through the window and then out this roof vent. And without this, I don't think living in a van would even be possible. If you're building one and you're not sure if you should put one of these in, you definitely should. Up here is our monitoring station for all of our electrical in the vehicle. So this shows us on the left how much energy we're generating with our solar right now. It's a bit of a cloudy day, so we're not generating that much electrical. And then in the middle is how our batteries are doing, is in how charged they are. As you can see, fully charged, and we're bringing in a bunch of amps. And then, as you can see, the most important thing is that smiley face up at the top. As long as that smiley face guy is there, you know everything's working great. Solar is coming in from the universe, coming through our solar panel and providing us free energy. It's great. Up to the solar panel we go. So here's our 150 watt solar panel. This has been enough for us, but I think in the future I am going to add another one. I'm pretty into video games.
In case you can't tell from his shirt.
So I definitely had to have some sort of video games with us as we're on the road. Just give me a second to boot this up. So what I did is I installed a PlayStation Classic into our van. This was perfect because it runs off a USB, it doesn't use much power, and it all fits really nicely inside of the front of this unit. What this allows me to do is when Lisa's driving, or when we're just parked and hanging out, or when I'm just waiting, I can just turn this thing on and start playing some video games. It's great. I'm still working on getting 100% on Super Mario World. Any of y'all got tips? Lisa got me a projector right before we left, which is so awesome. And we've been using that to watch movies as well as to play video games both inside and outside of the van. I brought my PlayStation 4 with me as well so I can play with my brothers back at home as well as all my friends. This way we can be on the road and I don't have to leave my video game hobby entirely behind.
But still, when can we get a hot water heater?
Never! So now we're going to show you how we convert from table mode into bed mode. All you got to do is you just pull this table up, we take the table legs off of the bottom, store them underneath, and then this becomes the actual platform for the bed.
So that's our van tour. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed building it. It's hard to believe that it took a month and a half of concerted effort and amazing help from Josh's parents to build this thing, and we're amazed at how wonderful and beautifully it turned out for these first-time newbies.
Yeah, we had never built anything like this before.
No.
We had never even thought about building anything this complicated. I would say that knowing what I know now, building a van is more complicated than building a house. But if we can figure it out, you definitely can too. And again, check out our entire build series. We detailed every single part of it. And if you have any questions, just leave them in a comment below. We'll answer them right away.
Or actually, ask Josh's parents.
Yeah, because they know most of it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this, feel free to hit that subscribe button. It's free, it helps us out a ton, and you'll be notified right away when the next video comes out. So, subscribe for more Lisa dancing, and thank you so much again for watching. See you in the next one.
Bye.
Called Granite Creek Campground. It's your care. And it's yeah.
Come on in. This is our main door. I hate it. It's really loud and it's really clunky. This area. Oh, hold on. Kitty's favorite spot. Go on. You know.
Octavius loves the headliner shelf. That's his place. He sometimes needs a little coaxing to get up there, but once he's up there, he falls right asleep.
Oh. He wants to be hard like a baby. Okay. Should I do the tour like that? Ugh. Turn it on. Fire it up. Fire it up. Fire it up. Our pieces to use our. These are famed pieces of Fabflectics. There's another for it. This is awkward, huh?
Made it. We installed hinges on it to be able to open it up like a big shelf. Shelves don't open up. What we have here is we have a 3 gallon per minute. We have a 3 gallon per minute. Here is our battle station. No, that's not right. All right, hit me with it again. We don't actually. Nobody cares about that. And this port, Berkshire. I just connected it in. Nobody cares about that. Let's try that again. Normally I have help when I'm doing. And yeah.
Am I starting?
I think.
Hi, kitty. What do you got to tell us? So many things to say.